Did you know this podcast is powered by Acast? Acast is the home of podcasting. For creators looking for freedom to grow their listeners and make money too. And creative brands looking for smart ways to advertise. Podcasters and advertisers in the know Acast. It's time you did too. Visit acast.com to find out more. Acast, for the stories.
Need for Speed is dead and God of War is delayed. I almost said those in the reverse and would have been a really weird intro, but we'll get there.
It's always interesting to see what you gravitate to pick.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of go with whatever I think should be a headline. And in a quick cursory glance of things,
I mean, there's definitely more important things other than God of War.
are there? I mean, hey, you know what? I'm here to learn along with the listener.
That's fair. You know what? Maybe there isn't outside of Sony.
Sony's God of War.
All right. Hey, it's the Gamers 2 podcast. We do a weekly roundup of news and commentary for your benefit, questionably,
For my benefit.
for Nate's benefit, and my torture.
That is basically this podcast. My benefit, your torture.
But really, no one benefits.
That's the key.
That is the key.
I benefit, and simultaneously no one benefits.
And maybe that's like a law of nature. Like,
If I'm benefiting,
then no one can benefit. And if
the rule of Gamers 2.
if other people are benefiting, you can't benefit.
That it does work in the inverse. You're not wrong. If you get to have that the solid meme of Squidward looking through the window to see Patrick and SpongeBob playing.
Mm-hmm.
Both inverses. Either
Yeah.
everybody's in a house and I'm outside, or and usually more than likely I'm Squidward watching all the fun happen.
Yeah.
And not for my own lack of anything, just because, as the world goes, I'm not allowed to participate. If I do, I will get smitten by a lightning bolt. And there it is. Smited? I feel like smitten is not the right word. Smitten, I believe, isn't it?
Smitten is like when you are
Infatuated with somebody, right?
Yeah, infatuated is a good
Yeah.
word.
I could get smitten. Both are death sentences.
What is smited? Is it smited?
Smite ye, O mighty smoted?
Smote?
Do you become smote?
Smited. We'll have to look into that.
I smite thee. Thou has been smited, almighty smiter? I don't know.
I don't know either. You know what? If you want to not go outside and avoid being smited, perhaps there are new releases out this week.
Oh, and there are some time sinks in the new releases. Starting with number 1, The Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood DLC for PC and Stadia. The latest expansion in The Elder Scrolls.
Spoilers. Made it to the dock.
Oh, you have more on that later.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wouldn't say more necessarily. Just this exists.
We mentioned it a second time. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. Operation Tango for the PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PS. Number 3, Stonefly for the PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch. Number 4, Super Animal Royale for the Xbox One. Number 5, World of Warcraft, The Burning Crusade Classic for PC.
Oh my god! Did not make it to the dock.
You are not prepared.
Because I forgot that it exists.
There's not really a... Next week there might be stuff to talk about, but it's still new enough where really there hasn't been any news cycles of anything going crazy. I think the only thing was really that I think it took the first people to hit 70 a day but it's not, none of that is like truly impressive to me at this point because it's all old content. So you know the most efficient way, you know the route. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually plan everything, everybody knows the best way to do it, type of thing. But either way, it is still impressive to throw yourself at it for that long just to get it done.
Yeah.
Number 6, Hoko Life for the PC. Number 7, the magnificent Truffle Pigs for PC. Number 8. I'm so happy about 8 and 9. You don't understand. It's like one of my favorite releases every year that I never play. Those are Fireworks. Because we're celebrating June 5th.
Those are some loud ass.
They're probably firecrackers and my window's open. Honestly, taking a guess who's lighting them off, I hope their house burns down.
I mean, going by the sound
Yeah.
volume, I can,
You can kind of figure it out. But yeah, we're celebrating June 5th. So congrats to June 5th. Happy we made it. If you guys couldn't hear that, well, you're welcome. But number 8, one of our favorite games of the year that none of us play. Pro Cycling Manager 2021 for the PC. And number 9, not to be outdone, Tour de France 2021 for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Would you rather play
Oh, well,
a bicycling game like one of these
okay.
or a farming simulator?
Now I'd have to see, because do I get to play as the cyclist or am I the team manager? Because I do believe in Pro Cycling Manager, you are the manager managing the 4 people. You're not actually biking. You're just telling them when to speed up, when to slow down, when to draft, when to
Interesting.
use their water bottle. I'm using an example from 2011. So I don't know if that's still the case, and I don't know if maybe that is that version, and then maybe Tour de France is the FIFA to Football Manager type of move, where Tour de France, maybe you are biking in that one. So if I'm biking, if I'm actually the one doing the pedaling, like a Grand Theft Auto bike race, I'd probably rather do the biking game. If I'm just the manager, then I'd rather do the farming game, because then I know I'm driving around in a tractor.
Yeah, I think that's fair. A fair ruling.
I'm glad you agree with me, because I wasn't changing if you didn't.
Jesus.
Number 10, Winds of Change for the Switch.
If I agree with them, I'm wrong. If I don't agree with them, I'm wrong.
Well, if you agree with me, you're wrong because you shouldn't agree with me. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for agreeing with me, but you're just going to feel incorrect for agreeing with me. Because you have the inherent want to not agree with me.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
All right, fair enough. Number 11, DC Superhero Girls Teen Power for the Switch. Number 12, Evergate for the PlayStation. 13, The Last Kids on Earth and the Staff of Doom. Doom for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch.
Didn't know they had games.
Didn't know that's a thing?
It's a kids book series.
Oh, I had no idea. Number 14, The Persistence Enhanced for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PlayStation. And PC. I said PlayStation twice. Number 15, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 for the PC, Xbox, PlayStation. And number 16 might be the favorite game on the list, even though I said Cycling Manager is the favorite game of the year move that we don't play specifically. Number 16, Mighty Goose for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
One of my favorite YouTube channels is called Savage Geese.
Oh.
So,
Correlation?
I mean,
Mighty, Savage, Goose, Geese. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lines right up.
Geese are vicious creatures.
They are.
They are mighty as well.
I wonder what's worse, and somebody would tell me, but a swan or a goose? Because swans are assholes.
Geese are assholes.
Geese are assholes as well. But I know swans are hissy attackers.
So are geese.
Yeah, so same.
Same, I think.
You want odds or evens?
I have no strong
Evens it is.
ties to anything. Are you taking evens?
I'm going to take evens.
Okay.
Mostly this has worked out just because I do the new release list and I sometimes don't want to read right away. I'm lazy.
That makes sense. Number 1, Dark Horse Comics has launched its own Dark Horse Games division, according to a Venture Beat report. Founded in 1986, Dark Horse is best known as the publisher of Hellboy and has also produced series like Umbrella Academy, which is on Netflix now. Usagi Yojimbo, I don't know what that is or if I pronounced that right, but whatever, and Sin City. The company plans to create its own games based on less established franchises and original properties while partnering with external studios to bring its brands to games.
We'll see what it means.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Dark Horse had a Star Wars license for a while as well, before pre-Disney.
Yeah. Pre their takeover.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into Umbrella Academy, so I don't really care about that. I can see how you can make a game out of it, obviously. Usually it could fall into your story-based type of adventuring yada games, or depending on when in that universe you wanted to tell it, I could see it, but I just couldn't get into the show. Usagi I never watched, and same with Sin City. Obviously Hellboy, that's an easy one. There have been Hellboy games before, I believe. I think it was a movie game, but I think it existed.
I file this under the movie games idea as well. Like, there's never really been any good movie games.
True.
I mean, I guess you could count maybe like the Spider-Man games or something, because they're kind of like...
Yeah, but then it's like, do you count Tomb Raider?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
But is that a
see? That's to
a
me
movie from the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
Spider-Man, do you just say like they're comic book games and movies, so they're not necessarily tied together?
Yeah.
But like Mad Max, the most recent one is very clearly the game of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not expecting greatness.
No. But we'll see.
As always.
We'll file this under the see how long until THQ Nordic buys them.
Ooh.
Or publishes, at least for them.
That's a hot take. A good hot take.
It's an easy hot take. Number 2, the founder of Atari, Nolan Bushnell, is among the board of directors of a new technology-focused game studio. Athena Worlds is a new outfit that aims to deliver video game technology with cinema-quality visuals. Athena Worlds' board of directors also names executives from King, Blizzard, aren't they the same? EA, and Konami. Its technology will also be used to build proprietary games and IPs across PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, as well as mobile platforms. Athena Worlds software and tools will be licensed to other publishers in order to reduce development time and costs. What?
I thought that was interesting. After last week, we were discussing how everyone should just use Unreal.
Yeah. And then they're like, we're just going to do a new technology studio. And you're like, oh, okay. You want to... It looks... Maybe they're trying to do... Even though you could just do it in Unreal, and Unreal looks amazing. I guess they would just be trying to really up cinematic quality. So are you sitting in cutscenes and stuff? And... What... I don't know. Part of me is always the... Please stop looking at Hollywood.
Yeah, there's like a
weird infatuation.
Yeah, it's like the games industry having like an identity crisis.
They have an identity crisis, but they're worth more than Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they're more popular.
Mm-hmm. The only thing, this is like
It's-
totally tangent.
It's watching the popular kid at school just be like, I don't know what I am. And everybody's like, how do you not get this? Seems pretty cut and dry to the rest of us.
This is a tangent, but the only thing that seems interesting to me is the whole choose your own adventure like style movie thing.
Yeah.
That seems interesting to me. But that's it.
Yeah, that is always the more entertaining idea.
As far as Hollywood goes, at least.
It's
Or-
funny with they're just going to build technology, but there's no in this paragraph there is no idea what that technology is.
Yeah, like what does that mean?
It's like, you know what? We got a board of people, we're gonna build technology, and you're like, you just like make technology?
It could be like it could literally be anything. It could be a game engine. It could just be tools for analytics. Like
This is a step away from somebody going, look, banana phone, and you're like, yep. Don't
ring,
know what
ring,
that has to
ring.
do.
Banana phone.
Banana phone. I made
Uh,
just picture the first board meeting. I made my calculator say oboe shoes, and you're like, oh, complete get out. Who hired him?
Number 3. No Man's Sky has gotten a yet another big update. This time focused on graphics. The update is called Prisms, and developer Hello Games describes it as a visual overhaul of the game.
Real quick before you even continue, is that a joke? Because there's like more triangles.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't look too deeply into it.
I don't know. That's
It's an interesting, like, yeah. Why?
well, yeah, because it sounds good.
Polygons. The polygons.
We developed 20 trillion polygons per planet.
The changes include new weather effects, volumetric lighting, furry aliens,
No volumetric fog though.
skies full of stars,
Ooh.
and more. The studio also says that PC and next-gen versions of the game will get, quote, detailed reflections, improved lighting quality, more detailed biomes, and more, unquote. As part of the update, No Man's Sky is also getting flying pets that you can ride.
That's the clip I saw.
These include giant beetles, flying worms, and huge butterflies.
I saw the clip of a guy riding, I think, the flying worm.
Okay.
And there was a giant, like, crate dragon sandworm thing going in and out of the planet. And I was like, what the fuck is No Man's Sky now?
Yeah, No Man's Sky is
I'm still
like-
so confused because you're like, your initial message, obviously, with the way launch was like, all right, your whole idea is to get to the center. But no two people will take the same path, yada, yada, you know,
Mhm.
that whole thing. And then they're like, Space Minecraft. And you're like, okay, that makes more sense. But I'm still so confused. Because I think the goal would still be to get to the center, but we know how quickly achievable that can be.
Yeah.
So is the
it's-
rest of it just I want to discover planets? Like I don't know.
It doesn't. It's whack. It's so whack because the whole getting to the center thing is so much. Like you can just skip to the center basically.
Right.
He's like, go through a couple black holes. Oh, I'm at the center. There it is. And then they're like, oh, do you want to go to the next galaxy or the next universe? And you're like, nah, that's all right.
yeah, like what's the point of going to the next galaxy? It's just to get to the center of
Yeah,
that
like-
one?
It like shifts like the biomes and stuff like that a little bit.
Right, but I
It,
mean,
like,
is the idea
changes things.
is the idea just once you get there, get to the center of that one?
Yeah, basically you can just keep jumping.
Yeah, you just keep
It doesn't. There's not really a good purpose. And then there's like,
find as many centers as you can. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a galaxy?
yeah, exactly. And then like the other like plot is the solving. Like there's like a storyline type mystery that you can solve, but even that's like,
And I guess there's languages if you're trying to learn made up languages because you can learn the words.
yeah, but even that's like,
But yeah, it's like
It's just- it's weird.
either way, game made a hell of a comeback.
It's impressive. It's wildly impressive.
It's
But somehow
6 years.
Yeah. I don't know.
5 years? 5, 6 years?
Sounds good to me.
2015, 16?
Sounds good to me.
Because it was we were still at Target when it came out, right?
Yes.
Which is at least 2016 for me.
Let us see.
But yeah, to go and then go radio silent for an entire year. And then just start pumping out content that you're like, oh, all right, you guys are still going. And they've developed another game since, and they're making another one.
2016.
16, yeah, okay. Yeah, and they're making 2 more games, so you're like, oh, all right. Crazy.
Yeah, good comeback.
Crazy times we live in. Number 4, speaking of games that are constantly getting updates, and one we've already mentioned earlier, Elder Scrolls Online got another DLC. This one is called Blackwood, and it kicks off the larger Gates of Oblivion storyline. This expansion adds the swampy Blackwood area from the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, as well as some pretty major features, including the ability to recruit NPC companions and the new Oblivion Portals World event. Matt, tell me why I should care, because I never played Oblivion, because if somebody's listening to this, a specific somebody, he'll say, I don't read or listen. I've discussed my issues with the beginning of Oblivion with somebody. And they're like, oh, you just not read or not pay attention? I was like, it clearly wasn't good enough for me to pay attention, so no, I didn't.
It's kind of funny, because I made the doc.
Yeah.
And then I listened to our Banished Friends podcast. And
he's in the Shadow Realm now, Matt.
Yeah. And
I sent him to the Shadow Realm using my Millennium Eye. It's a reference.
Oblivion is one of his top 10 favorite games.
I love that he's wrong. That's fine with me. I know he wants it. Here's the thing. Objectively, you can't be wrong about that. I understand they're his favorite games. He didn't say they're the best games, so I can let him live.
I will say that
I'm also disappointed.
Oblivion has a fonder place in my heart than Skyrim does.
That's fair.
But, yeah, I mean, why you should care, I don't know. It's more shit.
Well, okay, so
it
has a fonder place, so you know more of what I just said.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said. I know there's swamps. I know Oblivion Gates. I get that.
Yeah. I mean, it's adding in the Daedric stuff, like the Oblivion Gates, the fucking...
Isn't the whole
the
thing...
Daedric Prince there.
Yeah, but isn't like the whole thing Daedric? This is where I don't understand Elder Scrolls. Isn't the whole idea of Elder Scrolls that there are Daedric princes and they're constantly messing around like God? And
I mean,
things?
that's I wouldn't say that's the point, but like that's an aspect of it.
Yeah, but constantly happening. Turns out for 5 games,
they're always involved in some way or another.
Yeah, not that there's not obviously minor.
It's not
there's
always
not other subplots going on and stuff, but I mean that is the overarching. They are never not involved. It seems like.
It's not always they're not always a major component, but they're always at some point in the games.
Yeah, because when I was playing ESO up until this point, I'm level 40 out of 50.
Mm-hmm.
Every zone I went to, they're like, "Oh man, you wouldn't believe the Daedric princes." I'm like, I don't give a shit about them. Who are you talking about? And once again, it's me not being anything inside the world.
This expansion adds in the whole storyline for
more confusing things that I won't understand.
One of the Daedric princes, the bigger one.
Sure.
I think his name's Mehrunes Dagon or something like that.
That sounds about right.
I can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah, Dagon.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I think Dagon's a reference to. Dagon, I think, is like a Cthulhu level random enemy. I think Dagon is used in H.P. Lovecraft stuff. The name Dagon, not the person you're mentioning. I think the person you're mentioning is correct in the double naming, but I feel like Dagon is used in H.P. Lovecraft stuff. Oh, God, I gotta look this up now. How do we think it's spelled? Dagon?
Dagon's Dagon, I believe.
Oh, Dagon. I was gonna spell it Dagon. Like dragon. Or no, actually not at all. Yeah, Dagon is a short story by H.P. Lovecraft. It's a short story. One of the first stories he wrote as an adult. Yeah, he loved as an adult. Hold on, I'm gonna just double check this. Got a 3.7 out of 5 on Goodreads.
That was one of the cool things about the Oblivion Elder Scrolls game, though, was the Gates of Oblivion and how they would pop up, and they would make really good world events in a MMO, but how they'd randomly pop up and you had to enter them and like basically go to a tower, like fight your way to the tower inside this like realm and like grab like a fucking, I can't remember, like a Daedric Eye or whatever the fuck it was to close the gate. So how they're going to incorporate gates into Elder Scrolls Online, I have no idea, but could be cool if you play that game.
Yeah, I mean, it falls in the not my problem, not my job, but it interesting just to see it. Dagon, one of the other in the Cthulhu mythos, another deity in that universe.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the one person I know that is consistently playing Elder Scrolls, how they like it.
Yeah.
Because they're still in ESO this entire time while we're in between raids and 50-50 if they're coming back. They haven't said that, but it's starting to feel that way.
Feels that way. Awesome. Number 5. Nintendo is holding an E3 event on June 15th, and the company promises it will be, quote, focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch games, mainly releasing in 2021, end quote. The Nintendo Direct presentation will begin at 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Eastern on June 15th, and Nintendo will hold 3 hours of gameplay deep dives once the event has concluded. Nintendo's wording suggests we won't be seeing any hardware announcements at the company's E3 show. We talked about Switch Pro, I think, last week. That has been rumored. And, I mean, people are still saying that it will be announced ahead of E3, which we are running out of time for that. So
we are running out of time for that, but does Nintendo, I don't remember them normally doing like but like revision announcements at E3. So normally it's full console stuff. Like when they did the DS and then they did the DSi and then they did the DS Lite and they did all those things. I don't remember it ever being at a main event. It was always own. They were either their own events or they were, blog post type things or 5-minute quick video of, hey, this is the new thing that's coming out. Here's the quick specs and like what you need to know, and we're just gonna move on. And then they send it to Ars Technica and they do the breakdown.
Yep, that's usually I think what happens.
So I wouldn't expect the hardware announcement at E3. I think it's more interesting that they say games mainly releasing in 2021, which to me says Zelda's 2022 at least, and the bigger question is where's Metroid? Because they put the 4 up 2 years ago now, and it's just been like, what's the state of that? Is everybody okay? So it also could mean mainly releasing in 2021, but Nintendo sometimes is very good about meaning calendar year 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be fiscal 21, which pushes it into 2022, but they usually mean calendar when they say that stuff.
Yeah.
Because unlike other companies that say the fourth quarter of 2021. Bastards.
I don't know what to expect from Nintendo. So.
The only two things that I'm not even really looking forward to, but I know people would be asking about. Obviously, you have your pillars like Mario Kart, which I don't think they're going to do anything with, or like, is there going to be more Smash DLC? Is there going to be whatever, those typical things? Splatoon 3, wherever that is, because that's not out yet either. So Splatoon, and the other two things I mentioned that I'm forgetting already: Splatoon, Zelda, and Metroid.
Would they do Pokemon stuff at E3?
They could, but they usually save that for their own. Like, they've already done their own Pokemon thing. They'll probably touch it again, but they've already done their we've spent more time on it type move there. But they might do. You might see both trailers basically play, but they won't really talk about it after that. That might be part of the. We're gonna do some gameplay stuff after. Like, hey trailer, hey whatever. Like, oh hey, here's Pokemon Snap DLC, and then they show more things later, but it won't be part of the main. I wouldn't expect them to spend much on the main presentation of it. I'd expect a lot more random Japanese things, Xenoblade Chronicles and whatever else. Anime.
Okay.
JRPGs galore. The second game from we talked about this like a couple months ago, but the same studio that did that turn-based tactical RPG from years ago has another game coming out that we talked about on the podcast. Don't remember what the name is, and it's really bugging me now that I can't think of it. But they were a Switch exclusive the first time around, so they've announced they're making their next games coming out. We saw it in one of the clips. It was like the old school tile based RPG movement, people on horses and all that stuff.
Okay.
They announced that their second one's coming out, so I would assume to see that there probably. Turns out I know way more about Nintendo than I thought I did. Or I can assume way more about Nintendo than I thought I could.
That's kind of the fun thing about Nintendo is
You just assume whatever. They do a bunch of random shit.
Yeah, that and like you never know with them.
Maybe they announced Labo too. Labu.
That was what I was going to bring up. It's like it's been,
it's
been a while.
They never know, and you were kind of giving me the look. I was like, "You fucking doing it?"
It's been a while since we've gotten something wacky from them. So,
well, how long ago was Ring Fit? Because that's pretty weird. That's 2 years.
And then there was
2 years.
the cars, the RC car thing.
Oh yeah, the Mario cars. Yeah.
Yeah, we're due. I feel like we're due for something.
We are. I mean, it's an E3, so. Oh man. You know what would be bonkers?
Oh. Uh-oh.
And it would send this world into just sheer joy. Wii Sports Resort. Switch. Everybody's been asking for it. Like, why doesn't it exist? You have all the motion controls. You buy a Switch, unless you're buying a Switch Lite. But if you're buying a Switch, you have the Joy-Cons.
So is it like a remaster, or is it just going to be like Switch Sports Resort?
Switch Sports Resort, but the like Ultimate Collection or whatever, because there were 2 discs that came. There was the original disc that came just with the Wii that gave you golf, baseball, bowling.
Yeah, which
whatever.
was just I think that was just Wii Sports.
Wii Sports. But then there was a Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah.
That was
which
sword fighting, like disc golf, and a bunch of other things. Put them all in one collection, drop it, and go, hey, we should have dropped this last year during a pandemic when we were all playing at home. But anyway, here it is now.
We're going to get Mario Olympics.
We might see more Mario Golf. We might get a Tulsa Tour date. Oh, and if we get Mario Olympics, we're getting Mario and Sonic Olympics that are together.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Mario
which might
Sonic
already
Olympics.
be a thing. It's usually guaranteed to be a thing. Maybe we get somebody in a full Sonic costume. Number 6, EA Sports.
It's in the game.
I miss all those EAs. EA Sports. Berg. Oh, then there was the Harry Potter ones. Remember those ones? EA. Challenge everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Challenge everything. It's in the game.
Big, because that was the like NFL Street.
I feel like we're missing one.
No, I don't think so. We probably are, but EA Sports, it's in the game, was the the whole thing. Anyway, EA has announced that Byron Bede
Sure.
has joined Battlefield as Senior Vice President and GM. 100% guessing that's what SVP stands for, and not like Secure Voice.
You did better.
Person.
I didn't even attempt. I was just like, SVP. Sounds
Perfect.
great.
Yeah, sure. Senior Vice President and GM, a.k.a. Grandmaster. Grandmaster at EA, how great would that be? And, quote, signals a strategic and long-term commitment to the growth of the franchise, unquote. Bede previously worked as GM on both the Call of Duty and Destiny franchises. Rival alert. And with Call of Duty, was a part of launching the series' live service aspects, including Call of Duty Warzone and Call of Duty Mobile. While Bede will be a part of getting this year's game and next year's mobile game completed, his focus is on the future Battlefield beyond them. Bede will report directly to Respawn founder Vince Zampella, who took over as head of DICE LA last year. Speaking of Battlefield, it looks like we're getting a Battlefield reveal on June 9th, 7 p.m. PDT and 11 a.m. EDT.
I like
Your
that.
discretion is advised.
I like that little service announcement part at the end.
I honestly thought I was going to fumble it when I started reading it. I was like, there's no way I get this correct. I'm excited for the June 9th Battlefield thing. I completely forgot Vince took over.
Same.
There's a lot to be said there. Vince has a history of nailing shooters. He comes from.
I mean, he's making good moves. I mean, that
because he comes from Infinity Ward.
From an objective point of view, me reading this, having no real love for Call of Duty, I'm like, this is a good move. Like,
yeah, you pull a guy that's done live service Call of Duty things.
Yeah.
Which obviously, if you're Battlefield and you're Vince, who launched Apex, your Battle Royale for Battlefield did not succeed, as far as I'm concerned.
And Battlefield's like one of those franchises that you can look at and say clearly that they have not lived up to their potential yet.
Right. And so there's a lot of moves that have a potential lot of good results out of them that I'm excited for what June 9th might bring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm once again hoping for a modern Battlefield. Bring us back. There's leaks and stuff, but
I'm not even looking at the leaks. I hesitate to call it a teaser, but when they were releasing this on Twitter, they gave you the Battlefield,
the words in the splash screen. What would basically be the start screen. You press start and go in. Yeah,
definitely had a modern feel to it.
Yeah, it's got the lettering and the blues, and yeah. It has all of the modern feel, but it's it's not bait and switch me here. Don't show me a shiny piece of cake and then swap it with shit.
I was really happy with Battlefield 1. Didn't really get too into Battlefield 5. That is so weird.
Yeah, because you skipped the other 4. That's why you don't understand the story.
I was a huge fan of Battlefield 3 and 4. So I'm ready for a modern one as well. I just don't want it to go like... I don't want it to go... What was the Call of Duty space one? Infinite Warfare?
Yes.
I don't want to go that far.
That was one of them. I mean, I think Advanced Warfare, you also went to space.
There was the one where it was like really...
Well, one of them...
Really out there with like the...
One of them you start at the ISS.
Okay.
Your campaign starts you in the ISS. You're floating through because Russia is attacking the International Space Station or something to then fire a laser. I don't know. It was the point where, luckily, whoever, I can't remember what their name was, the person's name was, we talked about him recently, that took over and was part of the relaunch of Modern Warfare. Mm-hmm. Like when that Call of Duty 2 years ago settled itself.
Mm-hmm.
And they regrounded the franchise and went to a new kind of tonal thing. And they got out of whatever ether they were headed towards. Because they're like, oh, where do we go next? I don't know. Let's fight on the moon. And you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't want it to go that far.
Yeah. I want a solid modern one I want the modern fight we used to have where you have wars, or you had Modern Warfare and everybody's like, holy shit, that's really good. And like Black Ops is a very good game. And it doesn't play or feel like an old game, if that makes sense. Because it's Vietnam, so it's not World War I or II. But some of our, at least mine, best memories: Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, some of 4, where you had that more modern, less 4. I kind of want it to be. I want it to be smaller, with the option of those grand battles, because the grand battles were always fun. But I do want to see a high res kind of zero in on the good things that Battlefield does, really accentuate them, and let it just fly.
It's so weird thinking back on it because Battlefield is known for the big open maps with the vehicles and all of that.
Oh my god, what was
but
the name
all
of that?
of my favorite maps and all of my most
Small?
fun I had were the tiny fucking maps.
Yeah, I always enjoyed.
They were usually
was,
like underground or something,
like Metro.
Yep.
Yeah,
And-
there were a lot of maps, like the urban maps.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked. Usually, what always ended up like kind of doing it in for me is I loved the big scale, and I so badly wish that, what was it, Battlefield, not Hot Pursuit, because I want to just name it the Need for Speed one, the Cops and Robbers one.
No.
No,
Bad.
nope. I'm just gonna call it Hot Pursuit because I can't remember it, but
Hardline.
Hardline, yes. Battlefield Hardline, which everybody agreed should have just been the DLC because it was using everything that was the same, just with the new game modes. I always, other than the fact that of that and like me not wanting to buy the whole new yada, I liked the idea where you're like, all right, we're not going to have just gigantic. We're going to have gigantic urban battles, but we're not just going to have tanks and fighter jets flying through the middle of the city doing stunt maneuvers through skyscrapers while they obliterate everybody. Is that very cool and fun to watch happen? Sure, but I love the idea of SWAT vehicles or whatever without the mounted guns even. Just, hey, we're going to drive 7 of us in, slam down an alley, everybody jump out, and we're going to go take over a building.
Yeah.
And still make it 30v30, but it's just entirely urban combat. Like if Battlefield, and they can do it, opened up the idea of we're in an urban environment. It's technically a small area, but every building has 10 floors in it with fully rendered and fully done office floors. So you're just sprinting through cubicles fighting. You'd be like, all right. And then, like, do I get a zip line that I can shoot across and try to go across the street on a zip line type move? Obviously, risk getting shot off, but like, yeah. Give me that type of shit. Over the top, dumb things. And then, if it gets crazy enough, but make it hard to achieve. Because the whole thing, remember the crane crashing down in Hardline?
Yep.
It wasn't ever hard to achieve. I think it was like almost guaranteed to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, screw it. Give one of the teams the option that if they can take down an entire skyscraper. They can just crash the entire thing.
Was that Battlefield 4 you could do that?
You could, yeah, you could.
Remember their Levolution?
Yeah. You could like level stuff, but it was like make it hard. Don't even make it like a normal part of the game, but then if they manage to somehow plant like 70 charges in the bottom of a skyscraper, they can take it down.
I really hope they double down on that whole idea, the like Levolution and like the destructible environments, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
The only times it sometimes gets ridiculous with the Levolution, it was in the bigger maps, like the open field ones, because you'd be like, oh cool, there's 6 barns. Oh cool, there's no barns. Because one tank would just be boom, boom, boom. You're like, okay, well, everywhere is now just flat. And it's like, I get it. That's the angle that it would be. It actually would be. You just destroy the buildings and no one would care. But it immediately, if you're playing it, goes, all right, I guess I'm going to hide behind this one brick here that's standing. Hope the tank doesn't see me.
Yeah. I do hope for a little bit of, assuming that it's going to be modern, I don't want the vehicles to be dominant, like you were saying, in that way to where like
I want them to be obviously dominant on some maps. Like they should be an option to still have a. What was that? Was it Battlefield 3 that had at the time PC specific beta map? It was the giant green, like farm field one that was 5 points, and it was just this absolutely massive map.
I didn't play on PC, so
I didn't either at the time, but I remember the thing being like, well, this this map is demo-wise only available on PC because it was just so big or whatever. Those maps and some of the like the winter ones or the desert ones or whatever, they need to exist just because Battlefield, like, you want to show off your vehicle combat. It's another thing that defines you and separates you from Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
But don't make it every map, which I think sometimes they have a hard time not doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, give me an urban environment with like a SWAT vehicle don't make mounted guns on everything. That's another issue that's massive. Stop it. I just need to get into the fight. And if I Trojan horse my way in with 8 of my other friends, cool, we're there. Or give me like motorcycles, like dirt bikes.
It's gonna be all side by sides.
That's fine. Give me dirt bikes like I'm going through a African market.
Take some street bikes, like the little
Yeah.
Honda fucking.
Put a moped in.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Be men about it. Put a moped in and let me just. And then I'm just going up the on ramp in the city, like, no one sees you get sniped immediately. You're like, all right, it was worth the time.
Number 7. Crytek announced that the Crysis Remastered Trilogy will launch for consoles and PC this fall. The Crysis Remastered Trilogy features the single-player remasters of Crysis, Crysis 2, and Crysis 3, optimized in partnership with Saber Interactive for modern consoles and PC hardware. The 3-game bundle will be available on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and for PC.
Hopefully it looks better than the first one.
Hopefully.
The first one did not get any love. Even I was just kind of like,
Did not look good enough.
Not for what they're, not for when you think Crysis, what it should be.
Yeah.
But obviously, in order to do what they are saying, you have to redo you can't reskin the game.
Yeah.
You need to make it unrunnable.
Which I think we all knew that was going to happen because of the really short turnaround.
But man, can you imagine if they actually redid a Crysis and made it unrunnable on today's machines?
That'd be fun.
And you're just like, yeah. But can your PC run Crysis Remastered? You're like, oh yeah. Just get to have that moment again. Because now what do you say? Oh, well, can your PC run
Red Dead?
Even then?
What's hard
It's
to
more
run
like, can your
nowadays?
PC run like Call of Duty with no frames dropped? Which that's a network connection, not usually your game.
Yeah.
All right. Number 8. Tencent will be shutting down Call of Duty Online in China at the end of August. The free-to-play PC game for China launched in 2015 and was fairly successful. Declining revenue and lack of renewal from Activision will see the game close. Users will be pushed towards Call of Duty Mobile instead. So from one to the other.
Yes. I think Call of Duty Online was the stopgap. And they were like, well, we got this until...
Yeah, they're like, well, we have this mobile version that we're totally fine with everybody playing. They're like, I see your point. I'll allow it. Plus, you can play with a controller. I mean, obviously, online, I'm pretty sure it's probably mostly being played with PC.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, if you really wanted to, too, I guess you could Bluetooth mouse and keyboard up to your phone and still play.
Yes.
Put it on a tablet, like hook your... be the psychopath that outputs your phone to a monitor while hooking up a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard to it. So you're just using your phone as a mini PC to play Call of Duty Mobile. I'm sure there's somebody doing that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's people doing that. Number 9. Sony announced that it has delayed the sequel of God of War to 2022. Santa Monica Studios said on Twitter, quote, "We remain focused on delivering a top-quality game while maintaining the safety and well-being of our team, creative partners, and families. With this in mind, we've made the decision to shift our release window to 2022, end quote. The delay was also shared by head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Hulst, on the official PlayStation blog. Hulst echoed Santa Monica Studios' reasoning and also cautioned that while Sony is planning to launch Horizon Forbidden West this holiday season, that window, quote, isn't quite certain yet, end quote. When asked about PlayStation's development vision going forward, Hulse shared that the next God of War and Gran Turismo 7 will be releasing on the PlayStation 4 console as well.
No.
Quote, you can't build a community of over 110 million PS4 owners and then just walk away, right? I think that'd be bad news for fans of PS4 and frankly not very good business. According to an insider, God of War and Horizon were always intended to be cross-gen, but Gran Turismo 7, the Gran Turismo 7 decision is more recent. It was advertised as a PS5 exclusive when it was revealed. So, they're feeling the crunch of not being able to get enough PlayStation 5s out, which is kind of funny because it's outsold PS4 in its lifespan so far, comparatively. So they have been getting enough out, but it's still not enough.
Yeah. Also, this potentially just sucks.
Yeah.
God of War and Horizon we already talked about when they got announced the first time. And I said that sucks. It should be exclusive. God of War, same thing. Sucks. Gran Turismo sucks the most.
Yeah.
Because we saw it on a PS5. I would like, and they won't do it, and I understand, but I would love for them all to run like shit on PS4. Just run the PS5 one and port it over and go, if it can't run it, who cares?
Gran Turismo 7 definitely has that opportunity.
Yeah.
Because if it's a recent decision and they weren't planning for it, it might not. It either won't look that great or it'll run terrible.
Yeah. But it's just like, damn it, come on. I understand, but it's so annoying. And also, that quote is going to bite them in the ass.
The bad for business one?
You can't build a company of over 110 million PS4 owners and then just walk away from it. You tried walking away from your Vita, your PSP, your PlayStation 3 audience. You tried running.
Yeah, that's this is literally the opposite of their normal MO.
Yeah. Your normal stance is the old Michael Jordan, fuck them kids. And now you're like, oh, well, hey, we can't just abandon everyone. And you're like, it's almost the Spider-Man cleaning his glasses meme, Tobey Maguire, when he's just doing like that. Is that PlayStation? Cleans his glasses. Oh, it's Nintendo. There's that Xbox. That's weird. It's like, yeah, why? Angry man yells at cloud.
Also, they don't really have anything coming out. Nothing big coming out this year.
Ratchet's their only thing, and at this point, I'm almost waiting for that to just say, and it's on PlayStation 4.
And this is like the soft.
Also, how is Ratchet getting away with it?
Too soon, too early. Like it was not too soon, too early. It was too late in development probably to make that.
But it was supposed to be in the same window that Gran Turismo was. They were supposed to be in the same window. They were supposed to both be out by now.
Gran Turismo though, when has a Gran Turismo game ever come out on time?
Right, but they were both supposed to be out. Gran Turismo was now pushed. Potentially, this being part of the reason. Ratchet and Clank's whole idea, or like their argument was, we're doing stuff we can't do on the PS4 because of how we're doing rifts and stuff. Why is that not the argument out of the other studios?
Maybe
like we are actually leveraging new hardware, because all that says to me is, oh, we're not doing anything new. We're just doing whatever. And I'm like, come on.
I mean, Horizon Forbidden West doesn't look like anything.
No, and God of War probably won't either. But Gran Turismo very clearly did.
Yeah. Well, and I think I'm in the camp that you just mentioned. I think it's going to suffer on PS4. Or it'll get delayed into, like, death.
Just kill the PS4.
Yeah. Or, like, it'll
Kill it if you have to. That's a decent, weirdly Adam Driver. Take it.
I miss Drive Club. That was a good racing game.
I wasn't good at it.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, when you're not good at something, it's not fun.
Yeah.
I saw a random YouTube video on it the other day, though, where it was just like they were going over how great it was. And I was like, yeah, that was good.
A lot of people did really like it. I had my moment with it, and then you guys were doing the time trial fight back and forth, and I was like, I'm never catching those. I just don't have the patience to do it with these cars. I was like,
Yeah.
There is something though where I was like, I would love to, and we're never gonna do this. We talk about it every time. GT7 comes out, and it's beautiful on PlayStation 5, and I'm in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, there's one thing I'm missing. Here comes my steering wheel set.
Yeah. And
then you just show up to see me in the living room with the sound system hooked up, and it's just it's just me shaking, trying to go through corners, and just paddle shifting my way around and yanking through. I'd be in heaven. It would be so much fun.
Yeah, it's definitely. I would like to.
If 7 is, don't hold me to this.
Yeah.
If 7 is as good as we think it can be, there's a solid chance I make a commitment to do something stupid. Not like, I'm not going to bankrupt myself into stupidity. But there's a solid chance, because you can buy the frame basically for like $300.
Mm-hmm. There's some cheaper ones too.
Yeah. But I would just get the seat with the steering wheel and the thing, and then because some of them come with like the monitor holder, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. I'm just gonna use my TV, and I just want the seat, which I could just use any seat. Hell, I'll take this off the seat I'm on, and just use this, and then just give me. I just want my pedals, and a nice steering wheel.
Yeah, to get the Logitech, whatever.
Yeah, and just be. Oh, it'd be so much fun.
Something to consider. I've been close a few times.
I've looked,
deals
and
stuff.
like some people have mentioned, like other people I know that have mentioned, like, oh yeah, I've got the steering wheel, yada yada. I'm just like, what steering wheel? They're like, oh, it's the old Logitech. And I'm like, but I want that new because that new is like going to be the way I'm going to go. And it's like, but what am I going to play right now? Like Gran Turismo is the thing that would put me there. Because Forza, Forza's, don't get me wrong, Forza's a lot of fun, but that's not the game I'd want to do that in. I want to be doing this in track races, and that demo we saw of Gran Turismo was exactly it.
It was it.
Put me in a street race racing through the mountains. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
My pad locked here. Hold on. Number 10. Need for Speed is dead. Long live the king. Well, not exactly. EA has removed a handful of older Need for Speed games from digital storefronts this week. The games that have been removed from sale are Need for Speed Carbon, Need for Speed Undercover, Need for Speed Shift, Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed, and Need for Speed The Run. The servers for each game will also be sunset on August 31st, 2021. After this date, players that own the titles will only be able to play offline.
Who's still playing them online?
That's a question. Followed by, all these games make sense. I don't know the sales numbers of all the Need for Speeds.
Yeah, I'm surprised they still have servers of these games.
Exactly that. And then I went, there was a Shift 2?
Yeah. Unleashed. I don't even remember the run, Need for Speed The Run.
I remember it, but it was like, I remember when Carbon came out, people were like, oh yeah, Carbon, and I was looking at it, I was like, this looks like dog shit. Yeah. But yeah, I have Need for Speeds that I love, but they're not the ones that everybody else loves. Well, one of them is. The other one's not.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. I have the memories of, like, I think I had Underground 2.
My favorite's Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed.
I mean, okay, but, like, it's not the right answer.
I mean,
Most Wanted.
Underground is
I don't care for either Underground.
what the fuck?
Were they good? Yeah, but I just remember logging in and kind of being like, eh. I didn't really care for the whole night thing. I prefer a day-night cycle, and permanent night was kind of like whatever. And I was playing on a GameCube on like a 9-inch monitor, so I was probably skewed. I was probably a little swayed by that, or maybe a 13, whatever my tiny ass TV was. So that probably swayed it a little bit at the time. But I just remember booting it up, and you just hear "Riders on the Stone." And I was like, yeah, Jam, I fuck with this. And then I was like, I don't know any else the song on this track, but I'm done with that one. Most Wanted for me, the original Most Wanted.
Yeah.
The remake was hot garbage. And Pro Street, which that's the outlier because it's unlike all the other ones.
Yeah.
Because it's all track based.
Yeah.
But that's the one where I got to have my Lotus doing drag, quarter mile, half mile drags and smoking anything that was in its way.
Yeah.
Use the Viper, a BMW Z4, and then I switched the Z4 out, circuit race for a Z4. Switched the Z4 out for a Ford GT because, well, why wouldn't you? And then I had a Challenger to do the wheelie competition, and I used the Viper for sprint races. Good time.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Fond memories. Hey,
number 11.
Ho.
You know EA's new multiplayer dodgeball game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know it either. Anyway, Knockout City. Do you remember this game at all, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
I remember the game when they showed it because it was like it was a quick one-off thing, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And then I've seen people playing it, and I've caught clips of things and whatever. So,
Knockout City was released on May 21st, and for the launch, the full game was free to play until May 30th, after which you could pay $20 on your platform of choice to keep playing. Apparently, the game is doing so well, that's sarcasm, that EA and developer Velen Studios decided to make it free to play until you hit a certain level. You don't have to pay a dime until you get your, quote, street rank up to 25.
get that street rank up, yo.
Street rank. I honestly don't know if this game's doing good or bad. I just assume it's not doing so hot if they are making it like free to play to a certain point. And we got some serious like what would you call this game? Like, is it just a multiplayer game? Like, I feel like we have some fatigue going on with those types of games that are like,
yeah, remember Rocket Arena? A 3v3 EA game where you jump around and shoot rockets at each other?
yes.
What if I told you it's on the ground with dodgeballs? What if I told you that Roller Champion still isn't out yet? See a theme we're doing here? A lot of weird small games just
It's
all
like a
cropping up.
twist of like, so they went like, there's like an evolution that's happening. Like, start with battle royales,
Yeah.
and then it went to like, I don't even fucking know. Like,
Well, we did the here's your team deathmatch. It's 10v10. Then
Mhm.
Battlefield's like, what if we did 64 versus 64? And you're like, holy shit, that's massive. And then obviously Mag's like, what if we put 256 players in the game? And everybody's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? No one played it. And then we went to battle royales. And they're like 100 people, constantly lobbies, gets down to 1. And then now we've reverted to like, what if we just played 3v3?
Yeah.
Like, let's calm down. So now we're getting a bunch of small team-based things.
We're getting like all these like niche like
Yeah.
small
It's-
team things.
It's all the PAX games.
You think we're gonna get we're getting multiplayer fatigue? I feel like.
fatigue? Maybe, probably not. But there has been a surplus.
Yeah, but none of them are.
None of them have staying power.
Yes, which that's where my fatigue
Okay.
comment comes in.
Yeah,
I guess like
because none of them are going to. The problem is none of them are going to compete with the things that do have staying power.
like Fortnite and Call
Call of Duty,
your sports
Apex,
games.
yeah, all your sports games, Battlefield when it drops. You know, everybody's comfort. Like, it'll be the fun. Hey, let's go play this for a month, and then like what is Fall Guys' current numbers?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Owned by Epic now.
But tell you what, it seems a lot smaller
I'm sure.
than it did for 2 months.
I'm sure.
Sure, when they get a swell when new events and stuff happen? I'm sure.
Mhm.
How long does that swell last? Maybe 2 weeks. Or maybe it is just bigger and nobody knows. And I'm because I'm not in those circles, I don't know.
I think Rocket League is having a little bit of a. I mean, Rocket League seems to be have its decent staying power, but it's also, I think, becoming popular.
Yeah, it seems like it's on the way back up because everybody's kind of nostalgia tripping for it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another one that's been 6 years, 7 years.
It's been a while.
Number 12. Forgot what number we were on. South Korean publisher Pearl Abyss, the creators of Black Desert Online, announced that it has opened new studios in Amsterdam and Los Angeles. The company said that the offices will serve to specifically support its North American and European audiences. Pearl Abyss is currently developing 3 new MMOs: Crimson Desert. Just different color desert?
Yep.
All right, cool.
I don't know.
Dokv,
Don't know what that is either.
or Dokev.
That one's not like that. Don't
It's
give.
It's Korean, but I love the idea.
That's Russian.
Yeah, it's now it's Russian. It's a Russian MMO. You just take place in Siberia, and you're just there. You're escaping the Gulag and Dokev. So, and Plan 8 or B, but they fucked it up.
Plan B.
All of which will be brought to the West by the new offices. This is a question for you, and you probably didn't do research, so it's probably a stupid question. Pearl Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
They created Black Desert Online, or are they the ones that currently have Black Desert Online? Because Black Desert Online just switched people.
That's true, and Pearl Abyss is a publisher.
Okay.
So
Did they just switch to Pearl Abyss?
Desert.
Either way, funny that they're doing Crimson Desert. That's just... What if we just did red? We got Black Desert, we got Red Desert.
Okay, so Black Desert Online it was developed by Pearl Abyss.
Yep.
And published originally by Microsoft Windows. Which is
Okay.
weird.
I feel like there's a Korean company called Microsoft Windows that has nothing to do with Microsoft.
Yeah, right. That's all the development release history. Let's go to that.
Because I had the emails that they just transitioned because I have an account on Black Desert.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you don't transition before X amount of date, all your stuff's gone. And I still haven't transitioned because I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't have anything I can't get back, so.
Post PC development.
Oh, hey, I have a tracking number from UPS about... I have no idea what this is. Whatever. Hold on. I'm gonna, the old Gmail account.
I don't know.
Kakao Games Black Desert Online has moved to a different publisher. The Kakao Games Black Desert Online service ended on February 24th, 2021, with all rights and duties related to the continuation of the service and use of personal data being transferred to Pearl Abyss. So their previous publisher was Kakao Games, and it is now Pearl Abyss.
Why doesn't it mention that anywhere? But it's listed as the developer too, which is
Well, maybe they're self-publishing now.
self-publishing. You think that like the wiki page would like say that?
You'd think, but at this point,
It is wiki, so like anyone could change that. Anyway,
somebody's in there just deleting things like
oh, that's weird. Is it my turn?
Yeah, in the highlight of the week.
This week in our Water is Wet news segment.
But is it?
It's moist.
I know I
We
can have
have-
that asshole comment. Oh, water's not actually wet. It's things that have water on them that become wet.
Okay.
Have you ever had that? Are you like?
I mean, I've heard it before.
I've heard the argument.
I've never had
actually
anyone yeah.
I've never had anybody actually like believing the argument. I've had people trolling with the argument, but anyway, sorry.
Roblox. Parent watchdog group Parents Together.
That sounds terrifying.
That's fucking.
Is that like Karens Unite?
Yes. Parents Together called on Roblox to, quote, Stop baiting children into outrageous spending, end quote. It warns that it warns that children are susceptible to spending large sums of money for in-app purchases on the gaming platform. Well, that's their whole business model, so don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. It's, yeah. I mean, yeah, business models are good. I love that they're going after Roblox. Obviously, Roblox is going or has gone public trading wise, so now it's like in more of the eye. Hey, parents,
Be better.
stop giving your kids credit cards
Or access to
Roblox
devices that have your credit card information on it.
Yeah, just be better. Now, here's the thing. Does that solve the issue? No. But do more aware and not necessarily hands-on parents, because that's not really what I mean, but like more aware of what's going on and watching their own money. Does that narrow down the number by probably 75%? Probably.
So silly.
But again, they make how much money?
Too much money.
Yeah.
Too much, 2 billion. Something like that. I'm going to take over the podcast. Now for the questionable things we didn't write full paragraphs on.
No.
Played yourself.
I forgot my
Oh, I
bonus.
hate that. Okay, so
Yeah.
since we're on the topic of things our cell phones do,
Don't mind me as I'm just randomly
That we
blinding
don't
Matt with
like.
my flashlight on accident.
I recently set up my Apple Pay. I attached my
Oh.
card to my Apple Pay.
Okay.
Apparently, double clicking my lock screen button pulls up my debit card, and I
That's-
don't like it.
That's not good at all. Why would that be? Why would that be a thing?
I don't know. I feel like it might
Why
be.
would that be a thing by default?
I think it might be a setting because I have a brief recollection of changing that setting because it used to bring up Siri and I didn't want it to.
Okay.
And one of the options I think was Apple Pay, and I was like, I don't use that. So I kind of fucked myself, but
Yeah. But now you just go find
do
the
that
setting.
all the time.
All right, so now you just go find the setting again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's still terrible.
All right, back to fast news. Riot Games announced that it intends to expand the Valorant franchise with Valorant Mobile. Didn't see that one coming. The announcement, however, provided no details regarding a release date. Do you
Yep.
care?
Water's wet, man.
Yep, that's true. Tencent America has opened a new office location in LA. They're expanding. Tencent, coming for you. Gonna buy you.
I'm gonna come with that booty.
NVIDIA released the RTX 3080 Ti for. Do you want to take any guesses? Do you know how much it is?
I read it,
You
and I also knew beforehand
fucking cheater.
because the whole joke was they released another thing no one can buy.
3080 Ti for $1,200. And of course, it sold out immediately and will most likely be impossible to find for a while if you can even.
Especially for $1,200.
Yeah. Disgusting.
But where's my 3090 Ti for $1,600?
Yeah, right. The next one, I believe, is a 3070 Ti, and I don't know.
Yeah, they usually go middle down and then back up.
I don't know what the price point on that one is, but it's
Probably
probably.
$1,000.
I think it might be like
1,000.
700.
3070 Ti and a 3080 Ti is a $500 difference.
There's a 3080 in there though. So my 3070 was 500.
What's the 3080?
The 3080 is,
600?
I think it might be 700 or 800.
MSRP we're only talking. So
Yes.
it's probably 700. I think 699.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So I think the 3070 Ti is in there somewheres.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Probably 8.
I think it's
'Cause
below the 3080 though.
I don't think it'll be below 3080 because the idea with the TIs is that they beat them.
Not necessarily. Like the 3070 Ti will be really, really close to the 3070, but not quite.
To the 3080.
Yes.
We'll see. Either way.
Yeah, we will see.
Either way. Oh, we ain't buying one. And also, we're not going to find one. Even if I want one. I can't find one.
Nintendo has announced plans to open a museum dedicated to its history in Uji, a city on the outskirts of Kyoto, Japan. Something to add to your Japanese vacation bucket list, perhaps.
And here is our wax statue of Reggie Fils-Aimé.
That would be dope.
And here is our other statue of Reggie Fils-Aimé. Is this a Reggie museum? No.
Leave now.
Now, if you would stop interrupting me, we take a look here at the natural American playing the Nintendo Switch with our wax sculpture of Reggie Fils-Aimé. It's like a bad SNL skit.
Yeah. Watchdog Legion's next big update came out, which adds a 60 FPS mode for current gen consoles and an alpha for Legion of the Dead, a standalone mode with zombies and rogue light gameplay elements.
Okay.
AMD has announced Fidelity FX Super Resolution, or FSR, their dumb version of NVIDIA's DLSS.
AMD's fuck it, we'll do it live move.
It's NVIDIA's version of SS.
Just without the DL.
Doesn't have any deep learning. It's basically just upscaling, downscaling, and whatever. Intel's discrete GPU die is larger than AMD's RDNA 2, Big Navi, and NVIDIA's Ampere. It's expected to compete against the RTX 3080 and Radeon RX 6800 XT.
I mean, we'll see. They still got to get this thing out.
Yeah. There was just a bunch of like leaks and official stuff released. Die sizes.
It's like, all right, cool. Keep
shader counts, all that good stuff.
Yeah, keep talking about it.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything for me.
It's literally, it is all talk. It's not like,
You know what I've invented? The PS6.
whoa.
Whoa, Nate, you're so smart. No. I just said things until they're real. GTA 6 is going to come out next year.
Oh my God.
And I'll just keep repeating that line every year. Is that it? Are we good?
That's it for news.
All right, cool. That's the news. We'll see you later. No, not really. But also really. But also, what have you been doing? It's been 7 days.
Mass Effect. Mass
Yeah?
Effect and
Still in the first one?
yes. Yes. I am amazed by the amount of time I don't have to play games.
Oh, I thought you were
I don't
gonna say
understand
amount of
how
times
I
you don't have
finish these games in such a short amount of time. I cannot comprehend how I did it. Podcasts, that type of thing. You know, it's really annoying. And I don't know what podcasting service you use, but I have this issue. I'm using Apple's podcasting shit. So the history category is just filled with true crime podcasts. It like I was flipping tables at work today trying to find a fucking podcast to listen to. And I was going into the history thing. It's all just true crime. I'm like, this isn't history. All right. Yeah. Okay. Technically it's history, but like, get the fuck out of here. No one goes into the history category looking for true crime.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Just picture you headphones in, like sitting in a break room and no one else hears anything going on, and you just flip a table as you're scrolling through your phone, and then you're like, well, that table's already flipped, and you kind of like looking around, scrolling, you're like, it's all just true crime. It's always true crime. And then you just walk up to the next table and flip that one, and the person's like,
The
the
fuck?
fuck is going on? And then you just flip the third table and you walk out, punch a hole in the wall as you're on the way out. It's almost, it's about to be the Spaceman meme.
Yeah.
It's all true crime. Always has been.
Basically, that's how I feel. Other than that, doing house stuff. I believe as we speak, prior to us speaking, my significant other and friend were priming the spare room. That's going to be the baby room. Got some IKEA bathroom shit sitting in my fucking kitchen. And
Just random IKEA shit.
just IKEA shit. Samantha went on an IKEA run, so in the middle of the week last week, so we
I'm just gonna go IKEA.
got some bathroom vanity stuff. Had our first baby class. Went to a baby class in Oneida.
What does that mean?
You know, it's like you go there and they're like tell you about babies. I don't know. This one,
Listen,
this
man, never been
specific-
through it, so I have no idea.
This specific class was them being like, this is the process, like the logistics of having a baby at that hospital. Like, this is, you know,
Oh,
like,
okay. So you're, yeah.
like
All right.
these are like the things you're going to experience, and blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
these are the people you call, this is where you go, like that type
Yeah.
of thing.
These rooms, this place, that's a bathroom. Don't go in that door. You're going to see stuff you don't want to. That's a bathroom over there, though.
We watched a video of Birth,
That's
which
always a fun one.
I've seen it
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Samantha has not. She's never seen it before.
Really?
Yes.
I guess it is. Yeah.
She moved around a lot.
Was it a health class thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
She moved around a lot, so she had that double whammy. And then when she would have been like around the age to like go through that class, she was living in more
Restrictive?
yes, right-ish,
Yeah, yeah.
less liberal
Yeah.
places. So
More we don't talk about that territory. We're
Yeah.
like, why
Yeah.
are we not talking about this?
so
Yeah.
that's fun. That's where I'm at in life.
Just picture you just for some reason just with like popcorn, be like, oh yeah, and they're like, what the fuck? And you're just like, what? I get it. Yeah.
I spent an hour and a half at the DMV today. That was fun.
Oh,
I made an appointment.
like you made an appointment, but it took an hour.
I made an appointment, got the confirmation email, got a reminder email saying, hey, your appointment, don't forget it. Got there. They had no record of my appointment.
Nah, they forgot your appointment.
So, classic.
Yeah. That's gonna be a fun one to deal with.
That's my life. How about you? What you got going on?
Not a whole lot, just some games, some doing nothing, cut some trees down.
Nice.
Finished Spider-Man. I don't know if I've mentioned that on the podcast yet,
No.
but I finished it a couple weeks ago. I just keep forgetting to bring it up.
Okay.
So that's done. Good game. I enjoyed it. I was actually kind of disappointed with how short it was. But at the same time, like, I liked how short it was. I don't know. It's kind of the reason. Like, I like the story, and I would have liked to see more time with those characters. But then the way they end it and stuff, you're like, oh, well, that kind of sucks.
Okay.
But would have liked to see more. I was liking the relationship they were building, but, you know, hey, somebody's got to die. So, there's that. Trees are down finally, so the death is removed. Fixed the sink. Felt good about that. Sink wasn't broken. Be clear about that. Obviously, you've used the sink. It's not broken.
Yeah.
But it was very slow at draining.
Oh, okay.
So I did the old, let's just yank this stopper out and see how disgusting this is. Turns out, pretty disgusting.
I bet it was.
Yeah. So now it's not, and water drains very quickly.
It's gross
fun,
but satisfying.
Just fun facts. It was extremely satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it like as gross as I was thinking it was going to be? It was bad.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I've seen shit. I've been around. Not the worst thing I was expecting. But it was falling into the you do a minor task and you feel like decently accomplished.
Oh yeah,
as
I
like
know.
as a
I
human.
know. as soon as you said what it was and like I knew the exact feeling. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you fixed that thing.
No, it was the same thing. Cut the trees down, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
trees are down.
Was that any sort of
Yeah.
was it straightforward, no issues?
For the most part. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Sink thing though, extremely simple. Thought I was we're gonna have to take like a trap out or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking with my dad, and I was like, "What are you
Is
talking?"
it just the rod that pulls?
Yeah, there's like the rod, and then you
Mhm.
just undo the thing and pull it out. He's like, "You probably don't need to take the trap off; just take the drain." And I was like, "All right, yeah, fine. I guess I'll do that first. Seems easier." And I did it, and I was like, "That works extremely okay. Yep, that good enough."
Yeah.
But it was the small
Mhm.
adult accomplished move of like,
It's
I did that.
it's always fantastic when there's something that's like it's not necessarily like a hassle, but like it's an annoying thing that's annoyed you for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've just been putting it off.
yeah, and it turns out to be a simple fix, and then it works amazing afterwards, and you're just like, wow, I wish life was just like this all the time. Like
Right.
like
Yeah, it's much easier.
Yeah.
Much easier than I thought it was going to be. And the tree thing, so the tallest one was the one over here.
Mm-hmm.
That one was, so I called in help.
Yep.
Because of where they were.
Mm-hmm.
They're near the road. So who gets the call but Todd? Oh, I cut some trees down. Let's cut them down.
Yeah.
Unknown to him of when he purchased things, my perfect lineup timing of like him and you, and like when we happen to always align, and you're like, well, actually, just did yada yada. He shows up with a limmer,
Okay.
full extension,
Mm-hmm.
like 9 feet probably,
Mm-hmm.
limmer, and
Was it like a limmer, as in like
a pole saw.
Okay. Those work surprisingly well, do
Very
they
well.
not?
It worked very well. It was like a 9 foot long one. Like this thing was
Yeah.
stupid long.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking at it, and we're like, for the tall one, we're looking at it, and it was kind of leaning towards the road, technically.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, we don't want to. If neither of us are confident in cutting it and just felling it correctly,
Yeah.
and hoping one shot nothing goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, all right, screw it. Pull the limber out. We'll limb everything off that we can. Then we'll limb the next thing off that we can. Pull the ladder out, and we're kind of just cutting stuff off. And then I cut the wedge out to drop it that way.
Yeah.
Cut the wedge out of it, and then we cut into the back of it. As you would. Wedges. The wedge is out, so we're cutting into the back of it, and we cut into the back of it so far. Gave it a little push, could feel it, cut a little bit further, yanked the saw, and then just threw the thing into the yard.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, out of the road.
Yeah.
And it all worked out, and then, just clean up, which the cleanup was worse than cutting the tree down. As per usual.
Yep.
Everything's always harder after you destroy it, to clean it up, no matter what you're doing. The furthest tree was the smallest one. That was just literally cut it over, chop up a little bit, and that was gone. The middle of the three was the most branched one.
Mm-hmm.
And they did actually go tall, medium, short. But it was short and wide.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to limb a bunch off that one. And then we did the same thing. Wedge, cut the backside, and just pushed it into the lawn. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was relatively easy, but it's just the annoyance of cleaning them up, where it's like, maybe if I cut down a different one sometime, I would try to have, I don't know, like a tarp, not necessarily underneath it, but just around, so I can throw everything onto the tarp and then just yank that.
Yeah.
Because it's a bunch of little sticks everywhere, and it's like,
Yeah. It's a pain.
it's annoying just to clean up. But it's all done. It's all good. So they're gone, and it doesn't look like a dying shithole out there anymore.
Great success.
Yeah. So progress on things and such,
Life.
Yeah,
Making it
life.
happen.
Life indeed. I've got to do Gotta clean the house this weekend. Parents are coming.
Ooh,
Be up here for a couple days, so
that's exciting.
actually gotta clean the house. Whole thing. Or at least 2 floors of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be good to see him and stuff, but it just means I gotta clean the house, and I hate doing that. Hey, because there's the cleaning it for myself.
Yeah.
I know what I'm tolerable with.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, well, somebody's coming over. All right, well, I gotta go clean some other spots that I just purposely usually leave alone.
Yeah. Gotta do the deep dive.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I vacuumed and I cleaned off those areas. It's like, all right, but what if you actually moved the things instead of just cleaning around them? And it's like, son of a bitch. Why do I have to be right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all. Typical stuff. Don't know what I know what my next big project is going to be, but I'm paying somebody else to do that. I'm not doing it. So, just a lot of matter of time things.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Video games. More video games. New program in the show just dropped, so I got a lot to do.
Good.
Yeah. Cool. All right. 7 days, people. You know where to be. On those podcast services. We are, I believe, on every single one of them. Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Alexa, Deezer, other things. YouTube, it's on there. You just click play. We be there. You hear us. You hear me. You hear him. Now look at me. Now look at you. Now look back at me. Remember that commercial?
Magic.
Old Spice. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
I'm Jake Fenster, the host of 94 and More. While a basketball court might be 94 feet, we believe it's limiting to solely look at this beautiful game as a sport. In our minds, it's closer to an art form, even a tool through which we can study the world and learn about ourselves. We explore the game of basketball as a dynamic force that influences culture, builds bridges, and has the ability to shape our national conversation. We bring on guests from all professions, athletes, artists, business leaders, and more, who share our mutual respect and love for the game of basketball. Together, we explore the ways in which basketball has come to shape our lives, and in the process, impact the greater culture at large. Listen along on Acast or wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast recommends.